Well, hello viewers and welcome to my F1 2013 review. Obviously, as you all know, my HD PVR is now working again. So what I've decided to do for my first video with F1 2013 is, as I've had the game for 2 weeks now, I've decided I'm going to do a review of the game. I will be commentating on the footage that we use as background for most of the video. But I'm in a Williams at the Nürburgring. I mean, there's a lot more wheel spin on this game, especially at the start. I mean, at the start you could just and last game you could just simply really put your finger on mid throttle, and with curves, then you get a good start. But you have to put a lot more effort into that on this year's game. You have to put your finger on the throttle very lightly on the trigger that is used for the throttle on the controller. You have to do it very lightly, and then when the lights go out, you've got to start pressing on the trigger. And that is my first good point about this game. Second good point is the handling and the force feedback. It feels amazing in this game. I mean, when you turn, the controller vibrates, and some people have had problems with that, but in my opinion, I absolutely really like that. Gives you a much more real feel of this game. And the Toro Rosso just forcing me wide there gave me no room whatsoever, and as a result I lose out to the Marussia. But those are my first two good points about the game. The penalty system, I'd say that is an interesting one, because I'd say, I totally missed my breaking point there at this game, but that's a very interesting one, because I'd say that it is definitely improved. There was one time where someone hit me and spun a result, and I would have got a penalty for that if that was in F1 2012, but I didn't in F1 2013. So that shows that the penalty system has improved, but there have been some ridiculous penalties I've received, so there is still room for improvement in the penalty system. The AI, I'd say, in my opinion, I think that has improved, but I was still a bit disappointed with that. I mean, I hope in F1 2014 or in future games the AI actually goes to the inside and doesn't back out of it. I mean, that's what I was hoping it would be for this game. I was a bit disappointed with the AI. Classic cars handling, I'd say that they are very good to handle. I might upload a hot lap with a classic car in the future. But I'd say it's very good, the classic cars are. You can just put the power down, and no matter what you do, the car will stick. And sometimes when you lose traction, it's hard to regain it. And you can get a lot of wheels spin out of the corners in these classic cars. And also driving the modern cars around Brands Hatch. It's just amazing. I can see why Brands Hatch isn't on the F1 calendar anymore. I guess it would just be too dangerous for F1 cars. But there are a lot of good points about this game. The graphics, they're better than they are in F1 2010, F1 2011 and F1 2012 put together. The graphics are just phenomenal in this year's game. I'm guessing part of the reason is they're using a new Ego graphics engine. The graphics kind of look similar to what they did in Grid 2. I didn't actually ever get that game, unfortunately. From videos, they look kind of similar to what they did in Grid 2. The track kind of looked a lot more real, and also the reflections as well on the cars. They just look like you get the belief that you're actually at the circle, not literally, but you do get a lot more immersion with this game. And also the car sound. If you look at the footage, at first I thought when I looked at the footage they sound exactly the same as F1 as well, but they sound quite a bit different if you actually get the game. And another reason why the graphics look so much better, I guess, is there's no HRT, which means a lot more space for graphics So, final words, I go around the final chicane for the last time. Final words, I'd say F1 2010 was a very good game, but I think they focused a bit too much on graphics. F1 2011, I wouldn't say the graphics were as good, but the physics were a massive improvement. F1 2012, great graphics and great physics. F1 2013, they have managed to brilliantly get the balance between graphics and physics. I mean, it's a fabulous game.